if they're all in harmony, then my life flows pretty fucking well. If I don't experience my life with ease, then I know that something is disharmonized within my life. And I start to sit in that and go, okay, what needs attention? I spend every episode asking other people, what does flow mean to them? And sometimes I, pepper in there my definition of flow, but I thought I would take a minute to ask you, listener, what does flow mean to you? And have you taken some time? Have you taken a little bit of a pause to really consider that? So flow to me has definitions on different levels. In the physical, in the body, it's how my energy is moving through. Do I feel alive and happy and energetic, like I could go and do anything? Or do I feel tired? Do I feel stuck somewhere? And do I need to rest? It can also look like, I don't know. At one point, I had frozen shoulder. And so that tells me that flow is obstructed through my shoulder. So if I look at my physical body, then I can define flow by how is the tissue moving? How is the blood moving? How are the energy pulses moving? How am I hydrated? I can look at my feet. If my feet are dry in the wintertime, that means hydration's not getting to them, right? So that's lack of flow to my feet. Then I look at emotional, and there's an absolute emotional component to the physical being. But how are my emotions flowing? Am I holding them back? Am I not expressing myself freely? Am I not speaking my truth? Am I not being authentic? Am I holding back on sharing an experience with somebody else? Am I angry? Like, have things bottled up and become very, very angry? Am I crying and not allowing myself time or space to really release? Am I holding back a laugh? Am I holding back a sneeze? Am I holding back a joyous expression of jumping up and down? How are my emotions flowing? How is my mind flowing? The brain waves, the thought processes. Do I have ideas? Do I have new ideas? Am I running around in loops on old ideas? That's the flow through my mind. And then there's flow through my soul. Am I open to receiving? Am I curious? Am I hopeful? Am I fearful? That is, am I open to my calling? Am I following my called? Am I stifled in what I think my ability is to move forward with what I feel called to do? That's flow through my soul. And all of that comes together as a culmination into how is my life flowing. So all of these different aspects, if they're all in harmony, then my life flows pretty fucking well, right? Um, Guests show up when they're supposed to show up. Things don't break in the house, or if something breaks, then they get fixed immediately. Solutions come really super easily. Things flow. Everything is flowing easily. It doesn't feel like I'm in a traffic jam. It doesn't feel like I'm being halted or frustrated or anything like that. So to me, that's flow. And if I don't experience my life with ease, then I know that something is disharmonized within my life. And I start to sit in that and go, okay, what needs attention? Where do I focus my attention? That's what it comes down to. There's no judgment of, oh, fuck, what did I do wrong? Or what did somebody else do to piss me off or to make something tough? None of that. There's none of that. There is just simply what needs my attention. And then how can I address that? And that attention part, that pause, that quiet, that moment of stillness, that's probably what I've identified as the hardest part. Because when you're sort of spinning in the chaos of a disjointed life, you're not really taking the time out to go, oh, wait, hold on. So let's slow down here and figure this one out. So I wanted to offer a couple of things that I have found to be very, very helpful. One is exercise, because that puts my mind into a rhythmic state. So I use gyrotonic. I love gyrotonic. I also do weights, and I love walking. Walking's a favorite of mine, but specifically walking in nature. I've tried the whole treadmill thing. I mean, that's great for mileage. But really, for me, walking in nature, adding that sensory input, having the sound of gravel under my feet or the smell of dirt, the feel of leaves, dew or rain, the sunlight, nature, where the earth gets to do her job, which is to take all of our confusion, all of our denser emotions, and literally absorb and then transmute them into life and love. So, walking in nature, that's a huge one for me too. Exercise is a huge one. Sound. Sound is really super important to me. So, every single morning, I start off with a sound healing. And when I don't, if I don't, which that's only like if I'm traveling or something like that. And by traveling, I mean have to get in a car or have to get to an airplane or something like that. It's really the only things that get in the way of me listening to a sound healing every day. And that's specific. That's specific because there are notes and frequencies and beats that speak directly to the brain. That's science, everybody. It wakes up different areas of your brain, brings them together so that they can work together. And then you've got sensory input that goes back and forth and crisscrosses, and more of your brain gets to calm down, clean out, and then you're able to think more clearly. And the other one that I'm going to share with you is Reiki. So I'll, in another episode, dive a little bit deeper into my Reiki journey, but Reiki was first introduced to me as this like parlor trick, a magic trick that would help me with my headache. My sister was studying it in college. Believe it or not, it was a college course. Like, she got credit for that. It was awesome. But she had to have someone to practice on. So I volunteered. I had a really bad headache that day, I remember, and she just had me lay down and she Reiki'd my head. And it brought me such peace. It brought balance back into my body, which then quieted my brain, which then made the headache go away, which that made me be able to breathe, which brought me more peace, which took care of the pain, and it creates a different loop. So Reiki disrupts a pain sense, disrupts that loop, and creates a different one. And in a nutshell, for me, Reiki has been a really, really important, heavily weighted act of self-care. It really is. It is a practice of self-care. And now I have been a Reiki master teacher for, oh gosh, I can't even remember, years. I would have to very quickly do math in my head, and that just ain't happening. So for years, I've been a Reiki master teacher, and I tried really hard in all of the modalities that I've studied and I've practiced and I've shared with others. I've tried really hard to be the star student, to do it exactly how it's written and then practice exactly how other people are practicing, because that would bring success. But what I have found with absolutely every single modality that I have ever learned and ever shared is that I have to put my own spin on it. And that's what I've done with Reiki. I've taken it from this practice of hierarchy, of separation between the receiver and the giver, the practitioner. I don't even like to use the word practitioner, but for lack of a better word, the person who receives and the person who gives. I don't like that there's a hierarchical disconnect, that a client comes in who is most likely at a place of burnout and upset about something, or emotionally depleted or physically depleted, and they're at a breaking point. And that was like every client coming to me was at a breaking point. I don't like that in that breaking, they surrender to say, okay, you work your magic and do whatever it is that you do. I don't like that because it disempowers the person who's receiving. And for me, Reiki is the absolute opposite. It is extremely empowering. So I have always worked with people with the intention of, this is just your source, your soul energy, universal love energy, just coming back to you, just coming home. I'm just opening the door and saying, that's where you live. So, with that thought in mind, I started teaching Reiki, and there's a beautiful course, Awakening, that I literally took people through their awakening and how they were discovering Reiki and how they were discovering self-care and the intuitive process. And just recently, I revamped absolutely everything because, I do as I am called to do, and I was called to do that. So I am doing something really super fun and creating a brand new school of Reiki. That's exciting. That's very exciting. So more to come on that. But a school of Reiki, the Nagare method. Um, I'm really excited about that. Super excited. But anyway, all of that to say, we have a lot of modalities out in the world. There are a shit ton of options and different practitioners who are extremely skilled. You just need to know what's right for you. And the only way to really figure out what it is that you need and when you need it is to sit in a little bit of silence, that pause to figure out who you are and what is best for you. So today I encourage you to do that. Take a couple of minutes, really get home with yourself, say hello to yourself, and really feel into who you are and what you need. What's right for you? And then if you feel compelled, which I'm really hoping you feel compelled, open your heart, share it, put it down in the comments, because you never know. I just might know someone who might just be the perfect partner for you to collaborate on your own well-being. All right, leave your comments. That's all I've got for today. That's all I've got for now, at least. Thank you so much for being here with me. I will see you next time on another solo episode of Find Your Flow. Okay, that's it, listener. Before you go, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and set your notifications to never miss an episode. If you'd like even more with me, come on over to nagarelife.com. And if you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, go on and share it. Share it with somebody that you think would enjoy it as well. All right, I'll see you next time.